We now have Portland Nightshaders shirts and hoodies down in the description below. Be sure to pick one up today if you do want to support us moving into the APA and NCP season. Hey guys, John Jr. here, bringing you guys another NCP video. We are your returning champions. The Portland Nightshaders did end up winning last season in finals against Lux, who's a very good opponent. It came down to the wire, but we were absolutely carried all season by both Mega Altaria, which is very fitting because it's the mascot, and Zapdos. Led by those two, as well as help from Prim, Scizor, Swampert, Gallade, and a whole bunch of other Pokemon, we ended up going 8-4 and then winning 3 in a row to win the championship. This season, we are looking to repeat. Now that I've set the stage, let's talk about this season. You can't see them yet, but you will in just a second. Yeah, you know what? You see them now. Down on the bottom of your screen right now, you should be seeing the 16 teams that are in this draft. We have a lot of really cool coaches, but let me go through them one by one. And you know what? Let me rewind a little bit too, because if you don't know what NCP is, it's My League National Competitive Pokemon. A lot of fun. It's ran by me and Zombie. We have a lot of really cool coaches this season. And it is upload required for the first season ever. There's only been 3 seasons, so it's not that big of a deal. But anyway, the coaches that we have in order of the picks that they got: OP Jellicent Sohan, he will be uploading on Core Enforcers. Silver Smasher and his Floridian Typhlosion, really good buddy of mine. Myself, obviously, we actually got a good pick this time and I'm really excited. Star, the next up and coming big PokeTuber, and his Ball State Ball guys. I'm not gonna say the team names anymore, you know what, that's too long. We have Shay, who makes some of the funniest Pokemon content. My best friend, Jason, did decide to do the season. He did take over for Ollie, which fortunately Ollie had to drop, but Ollie's a really good friend of mine too. We have Grandmaster D-Ray, who I am mad hyped for. Obunga, who is helping me and Zombie run it. JB, who is another really good friend of mine. We have George and his Sand Ant Eggies, who's finally able to upload Wi-Fi in Gen 8, which I'm really excited for. We have Brendan, who is actually our week 1 opponent, and I'm really looking forward to playing him. He's a really good guy. We have Seabat. We managed to get Seabat as a replacement, which I am very grateful that him and Jade ended up taking over teams. Big shout outs to them. I'm really excited to have him in the league. He's a super chill dude, and he fits the atmosphere really well. Mid, another person who's helping us run this season. Zombie, the other commissioner, the stinky commissioner. Josh, who is not gonna win this season and is not going to make me watch some anime part 3. And then Matt O'Shea and his Montreal Milotic. So, there's the camera. Hello, camera. It's really late at night. We have shirts. So we ended up having 3rd pick. It was completely randomized, and I actually didn't want a big top 3 pick, top 5 pick this time around. I wanted a Weo pick, but that's okay. We literally every other time I want like a top 3, top 5 pick, and I always get like 13, 14, 15, 16. And the one time that I'm actually like, well, you know what? I'm okay with a Weo pick this time. We ended up getting 3rd. There are so many cool Pokemon that I wanted to try at this 3rd slot. There are 3 Pokemon that I really had in mind if I got a top 5 pick, and I got 3rd. So no matter what, I was gonna get one of the 3 Pokemon. The 3 Pokemon were Kyurem, however you say it, but I ended up getting that in APA. So obviously it was like, okay, Kyurem, we're not getting you in 2 leagues, buddy. The next Pokemon was Dragapult. I thought Dragapult would be pretty fun. I do think it's very overrated and probably barely a top 10 Pokemon, probably like number 8 in called Pre-Home. Is it Pre-Home? No, Pre-DLC, not Dex. I don't know. In Galar Dex, it's like it's barely top 10 in my opinion. It's really overrated. It's really cool, and I really wanted to try it because I think there's so many cool sets for it, and it really rewards a creative builder. But ultimately, I decided on the Pokemon that I think Pre-Home. Is it Pre-Home? In Galar Dex, the Pokemon that I think is the best in the format was still there, and this was probably the Pokemon that I wanted the most in the draft. We got Necrozma, no name. Necrozma is an insanely good Pokemon, guys. When I tell you guys that I think it's the best Pokemon in pre-Nat Dex, is that what we're gonna be calling it? I don't know. We're gonna change the name every time. I really do think Necrozma is the best Pokemon in the format currently. At least not Nat Dex. Necrozma, it got Dragon Dance this gen. Dragon Dance is huge on Necrozma. It gives us another form of setup besides the already vast Atotomize, and did it get Cosmic Power? It might have got Cosmic Power and Calm Mind and Iron Defense and Amnesia, I think. Like, it's got forms of setup on literally every side. This Pokemon, I was talking about how Dragapult rewards a creative builder. Necrozma rewards a creative builder even more so. It's going to be brought to all 12 games. There's no question in my mind about that. The Necrozma can be built for any matchup ever. Like, it's just so good. It adds a rocker, it adds an offensive Pokemon, a defensive pivot with Prism Armor, it has something with reliable recovery, it has setup on literally every side, a move for almost any situation. The only thing that holds this Pokemon back is its base 79 speed before any boost, but we can just boost that boy up and get to a good spot. We can run weakness policy with the prism armor. We can run bulky leftovers. There's like limitless options with Necrozma. I'm very excited to have gotten it. Like I said, I really think that this Pokemon is, if you're a creative builder, the best Pokemon in Galar decks, and hopefully I'll be able to show that this season. So what does Necrozma struggle with? It doesn't really break bulky waters. That's something that I really noticed, which we kind of patch up. I'll talk about that. That's not the one I'm focusing on. It really struggles with other psychic types. It really struggles with dark types, which again, we'll take that dark type and throw it over there. I really hope I'm able to figure out how to actually do that. But the thing that I'm focusing on, it struggles with breaking psychic types. So there was a Pokemon left when it got to me that I wanted to try so bad for the longest time. It's a Pokemon that used to get hyped up a lot, and I was like, this is whatever, it's okay. And then Heavy Duty Boots got introduced, and then it got knockoff back, and you already know what I'm talking about. And this Pokemon, I was like, oh my gosh, I have to try it now. It looks so fun. It's Young Snitch, the Weavile. Now, if you don't know what a Snitch is, it's someone who ends up in a ditch. But hopefully, as long as we hit our Icicle crashes, this Snitch will not end up in a ditch. Snitch, the Weavile. What does this Pokemon do for Necrozma? It breaks the bulky psychic types. That is the main thing. It gives us a phenomenal speed tier and a phenomenal offensive presence that we otherwise do not have. It's a Pokemon that can be run, usually Choice Band and Life Orb, and it's kind of the opposite of Necrozma in the fact that it is not versatile at all. It does what it does very well, and that's why it's a tier 1 Pokemon. And it cost me 200 points, by the way. But it pairs perfectly with Necrozma. Necrozma makes way of the fighting types that Weavile really struggles with, and in turn, Weavile really breaks the psychic types that Necrozma struggles with. Both kind of struggle with the water types, though. We kind of fix that later. I'm really looking forward to using this Pokemon. While it's not a versatile Pokemon, it's still a really good Pokemon that I think I'm gonna have a lot of fun with. It gives us a lot of really good offensive options and makes Necrozma not have to be offensive every week like a lot of people force it to do, which is phenomenal. With our third pick, this is about the best of breaking waters we're gonna get. I wanted something to reliably switch into fairy types, because while there are not that many good fairy types pre-Natax, you still want to have a switch into them, obviously, in a way to offensively pressure them, and that's what I decided to do with the third pick. I was looking around, and actually Toxtricity got sniped for me round 1. Thanks a lot for that mid. So I couldn't go with Reliable, so I ended up having to go with something completely new. I got Rupert, the Venusaur. This Pokemon is very important to me because it is one of my best performing Pokemon of all time. Not necessarily this one, I guess, Mega Venusaur is, but I still love Venusaur a whole lot. Venusaur, it got 2 very important things this generation. It got Earth Power, which actually is super awesome for Venusaur. Without Hidden Power, the thing it didn't really break was Steel types, and now goodbye Steel types, except Bronzong. We don't like Bronzong. Venusaur can deal with the majority of them, but it also, the important one, I can hear my goons yelling at me right now, it got Weather Ball, guys. It got Weather Ball. Weather Ball with Chlorophyll. That is phenomenal. And I know this seems dumb. John, you're not drafting a Sun team with Weavile. That's stupid. Yes, I am. We got Weather Ball. Our next pick, nobody's surprised. We got the only real Sunsetter. We got Torkoal, who is named Draciel after the Beyblade turtle. I love Torkoal so much, especially with boots now. It's a super reliable spinner, super reliable setter, and the only real Pokemon that can set Sun. Vulpix is okay. Ninetales is awful though. Ninetales is very stinky. Torkoal helps us break Steel types. Set Sun for the Venusaur. So our Weather Ball is a 100 base power fire type move. I'm going to be drooling over that all season. And takes a lot of defensive pressure off of Necrozma. So Necrozma can fit in either offensive or defensive role. Torkoal, well, it's a defensive Pokemon. But Venusaur, offensive or defensive role. Weavile, purely offensive, but Torkoal, the main thing is it relieves pressure from Necrozma, and it gives us Sun, so Venusaur can be offensive, and people have a lot to prep for. My whole thing when I was drafting these 4 picks was like, how can I make Necrozma the biggest headache to prep for? I do something a lot where I draft my team and then I look at the team afterwards and I'm like, well, this isn't very hard to prep for. I'm very comfortable with this team and it's good on paper, but it's kind of easy to prep for. Not this one though. The whole point of this one was to make it as difficult as possible to prep for. How are you going to prep to switch into Weavile as well as deal with Sun in the ×2 speed Venusaur with potentially a defensive Venusaur thrown in there? How are you going to break that? As well as either an offensive or a defensive Necrozma. That is so difficult to prep for with just our first 4 Pokemon, man. Our next pick, I wanted a remover. I felt like that was very important. I felt like I didn't want Torkoal to be pressured to be our only remover. I wanted some sort of ground immunity because I felt like that was going to be very important, or resistance because I felt like that would be very important since our grass type is not resistant to ground. And I wanted something resistant to rock, to Edgequake, I suppose, because right now Edgequake kind of destroys our team. So with that, there was only one logical Pokemon still left. There was Flygon, and I've drafted this Pokemon so much this generation. It is easily one of my favorite Pokemon to use, not only in draft format, but just by design. This Pokemon looks phenomenal. It gives us another defogger, a reliable offensive option, can even be defensive with those disgustingly bad defenses. Yes, it can be defensive with Roost and sets like that. And overall, adds a lot of versatility to our team, which I think is very important. Like I've been saying, gives us momentum to get into Necrozma. I think Flygon fits perfectly. The only other Pokemon that I was looking at was Noivern, but then rocks. For our next Pokemon, we do not break water types. Water types just sit in front of our team, guys. Unless I bring Freeze Dry Weavile. Does Weavile get Freeze Dry? I do not believe Weavile gets Freeze Dry, so you're looking at our only way to break water types up to this point being Venusaur. So I wanted another one of those. I thought that would be pretty important. Electric type would be really cool. I really wanted Heliolisk because obviously a Sun team, but I went really early. I think JB got it around 3, which I was really surprised about. So obviously couldn't go with that. So I was thinking maybe a Rotom form would be really nice because of the levitate ability, more ground weaknesses, and adds defog, which is phenomenal. And there was one in particular that I really wanted to try this generation. We got Rotom Spoop. Navi. Oh, Flygon's nickname is Flytrap, by the way, but you probably know that if you watch my other videos. Navi here is really cool, and I really wanted to try it this generation because offensive ghosts are phenomenal this generation. With a loss of pursuit, there's not a whole lot that can stop them. Regular Rotom is already faster than the other Rotoms at base 91, which I think is a really good speed tier for our team. Like I said, adds defog, has nasty plot, has momentum, adds Will-O-Wisp status, things like that, Hex. Offensively, I think this is a phenomenal Pokemon to help out our team. It's here to be really, really annoying and help pivot into like Necrozma, things like that, but also get a nice defog off when needed. So our next pick originally was Alcremie. I'll just let you guys know that is a stinky, awful, horrible Pokemon that I hope none of you ever have to have the misprivilege of drafting. That Pokemon is very bad, especially for how much it's worth. It's like you can't price it any lower than tier 2 because it's good enough, but it's horrible tier 2 and it's horrible compared to other fairies. Like I really just like Alcremie. But lucky for us, post-draft, a Pokemon got drafted and we just went ahead and slapped all the post-draft transactions on the slides, which by the way took me 12 hours, so please leave a like for the slides. But we had the privilege of drafting an actual NCP Season 2 champion is with us now. This is also a really good water type for Sun teams in my opinion because it's kind of not hindered as much as you would think by Sun because of its secondary typing. We have Primarina Aerial. This Pokemon is phenomenal. It got a buff this gen in Calm Mind, but you guys know what Primarina does. It clicks its dual stab. We have to be careful because when Sun is up, obviously Scald does less, and I meant water stab in general. Scald is just so like click Scald will get burned, but that is actually the reason why I don't think it's that bad, because once Primarina gets that Scald burn, it's very defensive and can take on a lot of Pokemon, and Moonblast, just Fairy Stab in general, is really, really, really good. Prim was honestly one of the fairy types that I wanted, but then it got taken, so I was like, okay, I'm stuck with Stinky Alcremie. But now look, Ariel is here. We got her. Round 8. We got our Steel type. Oh no. So I couldn't find a Steel type that worked for the Sun team. I kind of wanted a Scavalier. There's a Pokemon that I wanted around 10, 9. There's a Pokemon that I wanted around 9. That we couldn't get both of them with our points left. So we had to dip really low for this Steel type. I originally got this one too because the secondary fairy typing, which probably gives away what Pokemon it is, helped a lot with Stinky Alcremie, but now it's just kind of here, and it's a tier 5 that I've always wanted to try. Probably not going to come to a lot of games, especially if we bring Sun, but I like having the option of a usable tier 5. We got Mawile, Stealth Rocker, an Intimidate user, it has Sheer Force, it has priority with Sucker Punch. I love Mega Mawile. Regular Mawile is stinky compared to Mega Mawile, obviously. It's still a Pokemon that I feel like definitely could have a few niche matchups. Probably not going to bring it. I'm not even going to front for a second. Only going to bring it if it has a really, really good matchup, but it's another Pokemon to prep for because you never know when it might have the matchup. And that is still Miss Dusa from our IBA Championship run. She just forgot her Mega Stone at home. Round 9. This Pokemon, I feel like, is a very good Pokemon for the Sun team. Another water type that is not completely rendered useless by the Sun. Solar Beams from raw random Pokemon are not gonna feel good. We got Gastrodon, Drip. This is a very good Pokemon, especially with Hidden Power Grass not being a thing this gen. I think it ties together our team well. Helps us break Steel types, which is very, very important and very awesome. And that's all Go Gastrodon. And then our last pick is Cherim because Jason wanted me to pick Cherim. I'm not going to bring Cherim, but it's here on the team. On the reel, it actually does a lot of damage. So if somebody's really, really weak to a Sun team, our boy's going to get called up. You never know. So that is going to be the team, guys. Oh, Cherim's nickname, maybe I'm immature, name it Popped, because if you get it, you get it. But leave some Cherim nicknames down below. That is going to be our team for NCP Nimbus Season 3, guys. I'm very excited for this draft. A lot of really cool and reliable coaches. Be sure to check out their drafts down below. The returning champions have a phenomenal team, and I think we have a good shot to hopefully have a back-to-back run here, led by Necrozma. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like, and please check out the other coaches down below. We have so many awesome content creators. And for now, guys, this has been John Jr. signing off.